Hi, welcome to today's CAD tutorial. In today's lesson, we would model this basket. We'll do this in 3 steps. So first of all, we would model this part, and then we would create the top part, and then finally the base where we would use the grill command. If you would have any comments, questions, or concerns, kindly leave them down in the comment section below. I would address them as soon as I can. Let's jump into today's exercise. So let's get a worksheet to begin. New up here. And then under parts, create 2D and 3D objects, we will select the standard millimeter IPT template under the metric template because this is more like a part, and create. Now we pick the 2D sketch command. Let's create the sketch on the XY plane. Let's pick the circle command after that. Bring that to the origin and draw a circle. We will dimension this straight away. And so the diameter of this circle is 100. Type that and press enter. Double click the scroll mouse button to get your work in focus. Now we can finish the sketch. You can double click again. Let's extrude now. And so the extrude command, the profile has been correctly selected since there is just one closed profile. The direction of extrusion is what we'll change here to the flipped direction, and change the distance from 10 to 200. The preview is fine until we can OK. Now let me drag this in position and even double click the scroll mouse button. Let's look for a plane to work on now. So we open up the default planes and then pick the YZ plane and create a sketch on it by clicking on this icon. You can pan to the left to get your work in focus. But we don't see the plane, it is hidden inside this body. And so we choose the option that says slice graphics. Now let's project. And so the project geometry command, just drop it down and choose the option that says project cut edges. Right, now we will pick the arc command. Let's draw an arc anywhere here from this horizontal line to this horizontal line as well, making sure you slant it a little. And we will give that a radius of 150. You can type that straight away and enter. Now we can dimension. And so the distance between the point here that makes the radius of the arc, this very one, and the origin is 50. And then also between that same point and this vertical line is 45. You can press enter and then finish the sketch. Now we would use the split command. And so there it is up here under the modifier group. It says split. Let's select that. Now we need a splitting tool. That is the arc we drew. So let's look for it here. There it is. I'll click on that. And then the face also I want to split along is going to be this extrusion I did. I see a preview right here, which is fine. And so we can OK. Now let's introduce the YZ plane again. So there it is. And create a sketch on that. All right, let me choose the slice graphics option and even project. So drop down the project cut edges here and choose the project geometry command. The arc I created, and so there it is here. I'll click on that. You can right click and then OK. Now let's select this arc and make it constructional. We will then pick the circle command. Let's draw a circle right here at the point where we began drawing the arc. The diameter of this circle is 4. And so we would enter that. Now we can finish the sketch. We will then use the sweep command. And so the sweep command, the profile to sweep has been correctly selected. We have to pick the path now, which is going to be this path and then that one. But choose the boolean and make sure you have it at the last one that says new solid. For the twist, it can be 360 by 18. It doesn't make any difference anyway, but you can keep it as it is here and we would OK. Okay, so we needed this extrusion, the very first one we did, just so we could create this sweep profile. And so we can hide it now. Now let's look for it here. Under solid bodies, just open that up. We see the solid body 1 and the solid body 2. So for the solid body 1, just click on it, right click and turn off the visibility. Now we have just the solid body 2. From here, we would create a circular pattern. And so let's pick that command up here and choose the second option here that says pattern solid because it is a solid we want to pattern. The rotational axis, we can drop down this option and choose the y-axis. We see a preview of that, but that is just 6 of that body. We want about 49 of them, so you type that in here. We can see a preview of that. The occurrence angle is going to be 360 degrees, which is fine. And so you can, okay, this may take a little while, and so be patient with it. Okay, so there we have it, neatly done. The main body of this basket is done. This is the solid body 1. And so we want to hide this solid body so we can continue and create the top part. Now let's look for the solid body 2. I mean, the first one was the extrusion we did. And so this is the solid body 2. Now click on it, right click, and then we turn off visibility so we have nothing in here. Now let's open up this split. Click on the plus sign next to it for the sketch tool. Right click on that and let's turn on the visibility. Okay, now we want to place a plane. So we pick the plane command. The plane is with reference this very arc, and then we will click on this point. Great. Now let's choose this plane we just placed here and create a sketch on that plane. Let me get the isometric view. Now we want to project a point onto that plane, and so pick the project geometry command. Let's project this very point right here. We see it in green. There we go. Now we want to pick the circle command. Let's begin to draw a circle from this point here. You know you are there when it turns green. So just click and drag and then lock onto the point we introduced onto that plane over there. Let's click. You can now right click and then OK. For this plane, let's click on that and then we'll turn off the visibility. Now we can finish this sketch. Let's introduce another plane again into the YZ plane. Let's create a sketch on that. But we also want to project this point onto the YZ plane we just introduced, and so I will click there. There we see it right here, very little. Now let's pick the polygon, and so it is under the rectangle. If you have rectangle here, that's fine. Just come down and choose polygon, but we want the polygon to be inscribed and the size to be 5-sided, and so just type that in here. From this point, let's draw a polygon. Great. Now we will dimension this polygon. The distance between this point here and this line is 7. Let me zoom in a little, and then we would make horizontal. Just pick the vertical constraints command. Depending on this orientation, we have to pick that and apply it to this line to make it horizontal. You can right click and then OK. Now let's select this polygon, and so click on the first line, hold down the control key, and you select all other 5 lines that make up the polygon and make them constructional. Now we'll pick the circle command. From this very point here, let's draw a circle of diameter 4.5. Let's enter that, and we also want to pattern this circle. Before that, just right click and then OK. Now let's create a circular pattern of this circle, and so we will pick the circular pattern command up here. The geometry is going to be the circle we just drew, and the axis we want it to go around. We can use this point here, but we see a number of previews. There are about 6 of them, which isn't what we want. We want just 5, so that each one is at the 5 corners of the polygon. The angle it should go around 360 is fine, and so we can OK. Now this sketch is done. Let's finish it, and we would use the sweep command again, and so sweep. Let's select the profiles we want to sweep. Is going to be the circle, all 5 circles we created the circular pattern for. And then for the part it should go around is going to be the circle we drew. This may take a little while, just hold on. The taper is going to be 0. The twist, make sure you keep it at 360 multiplied by 18. And then for the boolean also, let's make that a new body. And so you pick the last option here. That is going to make it the solid body 3. And we can OK. Just have some patience. This may take a little while. Okay, that has been done. Double click the scroll mouse button. Awesome. Now let me give you a clear picture of what we've done. We can turn back on the visibility of the solid body 2. Okay, so there it is. We've created these two, but they are separate bodies. Let's go ahead and create the base. So for that, I'll even turn off the visibility of the solid body 2 and also do same for the solid body 3 we just created. Now let's get a plane to work on. And so the YZ plane, I would create a sketch on that. Let me pan into the middle. Now let's project this very point here onto the plane we just introduced. I would pick the rectangle command. From that point, let me draw a rectangle and I would dimension. And so the distance between these two horizontal lines that form the rectangle is 4. I would enter that. And then also I would apply a vertical relationship between this point and this point right here that fully constrains that rectangle. You can right click and then OK. Now we would pick the circle command. Let's draw a circle from this point and lock it here, but we would also dimension the diameter of this circle as 4. All right, now let's trim. And so the trim command, we want to take off this part and also this part as well and apply a fillet. And so the fillet command, the fillet radius is going to be 1 between this vertical line and the half circle. Let's close this now and also apply a coincident relationship between this line and this point right here. That fully constrains that part of the sketch. And so we can finish it. What we want to do is to revolve. And so the revolve command here, the profile is going to be this very one. And for the axis we want to go around, it is going to be this axis. Let's also make that the boolean a new solid body and we see a preview and so we okay. Okay, I changed the color to red. Let me drop this down and even do the default color. We will change the color totally after we are done. So do the clear override. Okay. Okay, so this is how it's going to look like. All right, let me get the isometric view. We are done with the use of this sketch. So let's look for that. It is here under split. So you open that up, look for the sketch 2, click on it, right click, and then you can turn off the visibility. Now we deal with this solid body. So let's select this face and create a sketch on it. Now we want to pick the circle command and bring that to the origin. And so we'll click and drag and draw a circle of diameter 30 and enter that. Now we want to offset, and so the offset command here, let's offset the circle we drew to a distance of 10. We would also offset this very second circle to a distance of 10. Let's do that a third time and then even another one finally. And enter. Now we pick the line command. Let's draw a line to divide these circles into 2. And so from this point up until this point here, you can right click and then OK. But let me click on this line and drag it a little. Now let's apply the coincident relationship and look for the middle of this line. There it is here. So click and click on the origin. Okay, now we want to pattern this line. Before that, just right click and then OK. So we can pattern this very line. And so the circular pattern command, the geometry is going to be the line and the axis we want to go around is going to be this very one. But the occurrences or the count, we want 8 of them. The angle is going to be 157.5. So that is the preview. It looks fine. We can OK. Now we can finish this sketch and use one of the commands I have never used here before. It is under the plastic part. It's called the grill. If you don't have this section, just drop down this option right here and then look for the one that says plastic part. You can just check it and now you will see it. So now we choose the grill command. Here under the grill, we have a number of tabs. But first of all, let's define what the grill is used for. And so the grill command here in Autodesk Inventor is a specialized feature that is used in plastic parts design environments to create usually vented openings with structural supports like ribs and spars. It is usually commonly used in plastic casing, ventilation covers, and electronic enclosures that allows for airflow while maintaining the strength of that part. And so here we are supposed to define a number of options here. These are the tabs. We have the boundary, the island, the rib, the spar, and the draft. We would use these first four. Now let's go through them one after the other. And so let's define the boundary. So here the boundary defines the outer shape of the grill. So now let's select the outer shape. That is going to be this very one. So I'll click on that. But we also have to define that with the thickness and then the height. We want the thickness of this to be 2 and the height of this we are going to keep it at 4. Now we move to the island. So this island also allows closed regions inside the boundary, that is the solid area without opening. So we are going to pick that profile also. It is going to be this very one. And now we move to the rib. And so for the rib, it is the structural supports that is running across the grill openings in one direction. And so the grills are going to be all these lines we place. So just take your time and select all of them. Okay, I think we have all of them selected. Now let's define that with a thickness of 3. And then for the height also, we'll give that 4. Okay, now we move to the spar. And so the spars, they are additional support ribs that are running perpendicular to the main ribs. So we can also select that. Those are going to be these circles. So we'll select them. And we want to define that with a thickness of 2. All right, and so that is it. We see a preview, it looks good, and so we can okay. Awesome, that has been neatly done. I find this tool such a great tool. Okay, next we are going to apply fillet to a number of corners, about 256 of them. This is how we go about it. And so the fillet command. Now let me change the fillet radius to 2.5, and then you should pick the option here, which is, let's see, um hold on a second. Yes, this very one, set selection priority to feature, and so we'll click on that. Let me turn this off, and then you can now pick the grill, so you can select that very feature. In all, you should get about 256 edges, and so we okay. That may take a little while depending on the quality of your machine. Mine has very low quality, so it takes me about 30 to 45 seconds. Okay, so our sketch is done. All our parts, I mean all our solid bodies. So let's turn them back on. For the solid body 3, we'll turn on the visibility. Okay, for the solid body 2 also, we'll turn on the visibility. Great. Now this is what you should have. Very easy and simple. Let's even change the appearance here. You can do any color of your choice. I'm going to do the light red. You can just type L to move to the L column. So light red here. And we can do our basic rendering. And so on the view and the visual style, it should be kept at shaded with edges. We can apply some shadows, some reflections, even a ground plane, and you can change the lightning effect to photo booth if you want. Okay, I also usually change the color of the background to presentation mode and apply. Now we can close it. Let's inspect one last time. Okay, and so that is going to be it for this tutorial. I hope this has been helpful and you learned something. If you did, please consider subscribing to this channel. Also, do well to like this video. It helps the algorithm notice it and push it out to a lot more people that may need this. If you have any comments, questions, or concerns, kindly leave them down in the comment section below. I would address them as soon as I can. Don't forget to share this with your card friends and save this. I'll see you soon with the next tutorial. Bye.